Welcome to Flip Math Lesson 33 for the 5th grade. Today we're going to talk about rounding and estimating. And when it comes to rounding, there are a couple different tricks we want to remember, different principles that are going to help us round our numbers. All right. First of all, we have this very simple pattern. If a number is greater than or equal to 5, we're going to round up to the nearest tens. If a number is less than 5, then we're going to round down. All right? And if this doesn't quite make sense, it'll make sense real soon. First example says round 541 to the nearest 100. All right? So I'm going to rewrite the problem right here. 541. All right? Now, to round, since we're going to the hundredths place, the first thing we want to do is find our hundredths place. We found our hundredths place, that is our 5. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to look back one digit. And by looking back one digit, this is the number that we're going to compare in terms of whether we're going to round up or whether we're going to round down. Now, since our number is 4, we're going to bring it over here, and we're going to ask ourselves, is 4 greater than or equal to 5? Or is 4 less than 5? And of course, you know that 4 is less than 5, which means we're going to round down. So, if we were to round this, we would get an answer of, since the 4 is going to go down, we'll round to the nearest hundredths, we're going to round to 500. So as we looked at the 4, we rounded down, which is going to take us to the 0. And since we're going to the hundredths place, we want both of these to be zeros. This 0 and this 0. All right. And our 5 is going to stay the same. Now, if we were to change our example real quick, and let's say this was 571. Once again, we would find the 500ths, the hundredths place, look back one digit. 7, this time we see that it is 7 is greater than 5. And so we would go up. And so if this was our number, we would have an answer of, we're going to round up one whole hundred, and that's going to give us an answer of 600. All right. And so we have that example. All right. Now we can apply this to word problems also. Right. It says a team had 3 players score all their points. Jay scored 15 points, Rex scored 12 points, and Han scored 9 points. About how many points did the team score? And so we're going to use this to make some good estimations. And it looks like we should be rounding to the nearest tens place to get this right. So if we start with 15, we want to round to the nearest tens. So we found our tens place. We're going to look back. It's 5. And so our estimate is going to round up to 20. Our next number is 12. Found our tens. We look back. And we see the numbers 2, which is less than 5. And so we're going to round down to 10. And then finally, we have our 9, right? Which is, of course, would be the same as 0, 9. We just don't see that 0. So our tens place is a 0. We look back, and we see 9. 9 is greater, and so that's going to round to 10. And now I can very quickly add these 3 numbers together, 10 and 10 and 20, and get an answer of 40 points. And we want to put about in front of it because it is an estimate. So it is about 40 points for the team score. So we have that idea. Let's try it again. All right. If Lake Michigan is about 2,345 feet deep and Lake Erie is about 2,135 feet deep, estimate how much deeper Lake Michigan is compared to Lake Erie. All right, and we want to go to the nearest hundreds. All right, and so if I put my numbers down like this, and my second number here like this, first thing we're going to do is estimate. Once again, we're going to the nearest hundreds, and so we're going to look back, and we're going to see a 4. We know that 4 is less than 5, so it's going to round down. And so we're going to get an estimate of this. And once again, we're going to look here, hundreds. Look back one. Once again, we're also rounding down here. And so we're going to get this. And now the problem says to find the difference. So we're going to take 2300 minus 2100. So 0, 0, 2, and then of course 2 minus 2 is 0. So it would be 200 feet, about 200 feet deeper, right? And that would be Lake Michigan has that, right? So that would be the difference, right? It's about 200 feet deeper, okay? One more problem to help us understand this idea. It says the 5th grade class is putting on a Christmas pageant. The auditorium can hold 415 people, and the show will run for 3 nights. About how many people will attend if the seats are sold out every night? So this has us thinking a little bit, right? We have 3 nights, right, times our tickets. So we're going to be multiplying by 3, right? And then we're going to look at the total number of people that can fit. So if 415 people can fit in the auditorium, that means there must be 415 tickets to go in there. So now we need to get an estimate from that number right there, that 415. So we want to round this number. And once again, if we put 415 here, we want to round to a nice even whole number that we can do that. And the easiest way to do that is to go to the nearest hundreds. Once again, lots of hundreds examples today. And so 4, look back 1 digit. It's a 1. 1 is less than 5, and so we're going to round down to 400. And now we can do our simple math of 400 times 3, which is going to be 1200. And so there will be about, I want to make sure we get that about in there, about 1200 people. So we have those examples when it comes to rounding. All right, here's the sample problem. Good luck estimating and working with that. Just don't forget the rules of greater or less than 5. That's the end of lesson 33.